This is my hardcore PvP world locked account. Over the course of hundreds of hours, I've built this account up from level 3, exclusively on PvP worlds, obtaining levels, rare drops and evading hunters. There is, however, one issue with this account that the keener-eyed among you may have spotted, which is of course, it's dead. Kaboom! So, it's time to make a new one. So, first things first, we need to try and work on our hit points, as currently Hamguard will come and one-shot us. To do that, we are going to be doing the X marks the spot quest, followed by the Zaya quest that gives you the experience lamps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's number 5 to finish up the quest after a wee bit of dialogue. And here comes the first hit points experience. Slightly safer. Now that we have gained such fantastic stacks of cash, we can afford to buy our best in slot food for a fair old time. Now, before we go any further, there is a very useful spawn of a man, or is it a woman, upstairs in this building, which will allow us to quickly smash out level 5 thieving. It is a woman. And this should be the level 5 thieving to steal from cake stalls, which will be a very useful food supply when we go to Wintertodt shortly. So, in our continued quest to obtain hit points levels, we are going to now do Client of Corrend, for which we will need a feather, and whilst we're here we might as well stock up on a sardine for Gertrude's cat later. And that wraps up the second quest for some more hit points experience as soon as the space barring of the chat is over. There we go, and that should be another fair old amount of experience. All the way up to 15, which means we are considerably safer and can no longer really be one-shot at this level. The next goal is to steal cakes until I have 32 thieving, as this will allow me to pickpocket rogues for the elusive poisoned iron dagger, which will make questing at a low level significantly easier and allow me to do Witch's House to get even more hit points experience. The reason that I'm doing thieving in Hasidius, despite these irritating guard dogs constantly getting on you, is because the other main locations near a bank to steal cakes at are both scribable, and I'm trying to keep this account unknown for now, so that hopefully hunters don't start looking at what I'm doing too soon. And here is finally 32 thieving. Time to go and get myself a dagger. And here we go with the Witch's House.
You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
After a mere 41 minutes, there is an awful lot of hit points experience, and we are now pretty safe. Time to go and get some money. further add to the safety, we have now got a teleport, but currently it goes to an area just as dangerous as pretty much anywhere else. So I'm going to go and do Daddy's Home with the remaining cash that we've just earned to unlock some safe teleport tabs. Here is the end of the Daddy's Home quest, which gives us this lovely crate containing house tabs. And the quest also gives you a house, so that is a guaranteed safe escape. However, it can only be used 5 times, as I won't have the magic level for a fair old time, nor the construction level to be able to make more of those. So, for now, it's important to make the Chronicle teleport safer, and this is done by doing the Demon Slayer quest up to the point at which you obtain Silverlight, which makes this Stone Circle South of Varrock into an instance area. So if you teleport in with the Chronicle, you have this short run to make before you are instanced, as opposed to this considerably longer run, which almost guarantees your death. One thing required for the Demon Slayer quest is to obtain 25 bones to exchange for one of the keys, and as we're currently trying to keep the combat stats to a minimum so as not to gain combat levels, I'm going to be picking them up from a spawn round about here in the dig site. This should be the unlocking of the Silverlight, and once I've got it, I have a little bit of testing to do, because I believe, contrary to popular belief, you don't actually need to have the sword with you to enter the instance. So here goes. Ditch the sword there and see if running in puts me in the instance or not. It does not appear to, as a matter of fact. So it looks like you do need to have the sword with you to get into the instance like that. But maybe that's just to trigger the cutscene. Yeah, it's just to trigger the initial cutscene, so you have to bring it once, and then after that, you're all good. So, now that we have initial safety taken care of with a decent amount of health and some options for escaping, the next steps will be to obtain the 50 fire making needed for Wintertodt, as well as some base stats in things like fishing and woodcutting, so that the loot is improved. However, all of that is going to take some time, so I may as well be growing cats during the process. So first up is Gertrude's cat. There is Gertrude's cat wrapped up, but we will still need something to feed it. And here is a suitable amount of food to feed it with, for now at least. The amount of Karambwanji you get scales with your fishing level, so for now it's not worth continuing to fish them. Now that we have both teleports, health for safety, and the ability to grow cats, it's time to move on to training up some woodcutting, and would you look at that? Maybe I'll bother doing that as well. As well as requiring 50 fire making to kill the Wintertodt, solo also you will need to complete Druidic Ritual, for which I will need 1 raw bear meat, which will be obtained like so. Further to the bear meat, you will also require rat meat, 1 raw chicken, and last but not least, a piece of beef. Despite my intentions of going undetected up until this point, people seem to have already figured out my name and are refreshing my temple page as we speak to try and figure out what I'm up to. Completed. Here's 50 fire making wrapped up, and we've also finished growing a cat to full, so I'm going to go and get the quests done so that we can start handing these in for death runes. On the way to get the Dwellberries and the Chocolate Dust to do the Plague City quest, I've made a quick detour to quickly grab myself 10 agility for the Draenor course. Whilst I was back over this side of the map to speak to Guido, or whatever they're called, for the biohazard quest, I've also quickly smashed out some of the requirements that you would need to be able to get the Arduin diary easy done whilst I'm back over there again. Whilst obtaining the rusty sword, I also managed to get an easy clue from the HAM members, so hopefully there will be some useful teleports in here. But there isn't. Finishing off the sea slug here should give me enough fishing XP to be able to play the fishing trawler, which, besides finishing off biohazard, is the last requirement I need to be able to do the Arduin Easy Diary. Here's the conclusion of the biohazard quest, which means that we can now get into West Arduin to sell the cats. However, we still need to finish the Easy Diary so that the cats are worth double value. Here is the completion of the Easy Diary, so I can now finally trade in this poor old cat to be made into stew and fed to dwarves. Now, the experience lamp ideally would be used on hit points. However, I really don't want to get my hit points up anymore just at the moment, because it'll make Wintertodt a lot more difficult to solo. So I think I'm just going to have to put it on something pointless like thieving. And here is the lootation from the first cat. Time to go and collect and raise a new one. This should be the conclusion of the first Wintertodt solo, and it should have got me up to about 56 fire making. There we are. For a reasonable number of points. I couldn't quite get to the 13,000. I think our health is a little bit too high for cakes in here, but I'll give it a go and see how high I can get next time. And in the bank are an absolute ton of scout bots, so somebody probably knows I'm here now. But anyway, the loot from the first run is some fairly nice basic skilling supplies and a lot of cash. Now, I realise I haven't exactly explained what the goals are on this account just yet, and the primary thing I want to do before I start leveling combat is to try and get the majority of the skills needed to get the quest cape completed, and then try and be a bit more careful than I was on my last account when it comes to leveling combat. The issue I ran into last time was that I was such low health at such a high combat due to having 60 defense that I was able to be one-shot, as you saw at the beginning of this video. So this time around I'm going to have to keep a lower defense, I think. I think I'll be a pure for a while, and then slowly begin leveling defense and not get anywhere near 60 until my health is at least in the 80s and no longer one-shottable. For now, however, I'm going to concentrate on getting a reasonable number of these crates banked. I don't think I'll open many more, maybe one or two for now, but I'd like to save them up until I've obtained some higher stats in farming and herb lore and mining and the things that affect the rewards that you get from them. And once I have a decent chance of getting some suitable supplies out of the crates, then I think I'll start opening them up. After that, it will be a case of continuing to level health. Currently it needs to be kept low due to Wintertodt mechanics scaling with your health. But yeah, after that I'll probably end up doing the dig site to be able to obtain lamps, get to Fossil Island, and lamp myself up to a reasonable health. Second go round seems to have worked out even better. We've capped points, so maximum reward from this supply crate. Get over to the bank and open it up. Right, let's hope for a good reward this time. That is a fair old amount of stuff. It appears that my name is definitely no longer hidden from the hunters, as the engineer himself has just strolled into the Wintertodt and spotted me. So that will conclude the first episode of this PvP locked hardcore account. Please let me know what you thought of the video and if you would like any more. Bye!